You guys are gonna have to bear with me while I'm filming this because it's been a while and I've already had to restart this because I am tripping over my words. I need to get it together desperately. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Sam and today's video is going to be my September wrap-up, a very, very late September wrap-up. I wasn't sure if you guys would want this, so I asked in my haul video if you all wanted to see, my thoughts and what I had read, and you all said yes. So here I am. I read a total of 14 books in September, and listen, just being honest, they were all audiobooks because that is the only way that I've been able to get through books lately. And I do use my library. I have a couple different library cards that I like switch through, and I'm usually able to get whatever I want from the library cards. So I use Libby and Hoopla a lot. I do also have Audible, so I get a credit a month. And then I have Spotify Premium, so I am able to listen to an audiobook there a month as well. So that is how I get these, because listen, I'm not buying every audiobook because that is very expensive. So use your library, people. Please use your library. So I did not have any 5-star reads, but I did have a 4.5-star read. Then I had 9 4-star reads and 4 3-star reads, and then 1 DNF. So we're just gonna get started. I'm gonna try to be quick and not ramble too much. First book that I read in September is War of Hearts by S. Young, or Samantha Young. I believe for this paranormal series, she uses S. Young instead of Samantha Young, but paranormal standalone. It is in a series, but you can read them as standalones. This one is following Thea and Connell. She's not human, but we don't quite know exactly what she is. But what we do know is her blood can cure people. So she has kind of been used her whole life and kept away her whole life because of that, because the people who she's living with, they know, hey, if other people get their hands on her, they're going to use her. So we want to take advantage and we want to use her for our own personal gain. So she ends up running away from them, only to realize that Connell, who is the Alpha King werewolf, is hunting her as well because he needs her blood to cure his sister. And thus ensues a chase, cat and mouse, enemies to lovers romance. This one was action-packed, full of twists and turns and lots of drama. I did end up giving this one a 4-star. I had a fun time with it. My only complaint is that the romance, while yes, it was slow burn, it did feel like they went to I love you very quickly. So that was my only complaint, but I do recommend this book. Then my 4.5-star read for the month is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This is a World War II historical fiction. This is set in 1939 Nazi Germany. We are following a young girl named Liesel, but this book is told through the perspective of Death. So Death is telling Liesel's story. I am so mad at myself for not picking up this book sooner. It is everything that it is cracked up to be. I loved this. I ended up watching the movie after I finished the book, and I loved the movie. Oh, I loved the movie so much. Both the book and the movie had me in tears. So if you have not, for whatever reason, read The Book Thief, do it, because it was so freaking good. Then I read The House Guest by Penelope Ward. This one I gave 3 stars. I was a little disappointed in this book. We are following Dorian and Primrose. Primrose is living with her aunt and her aunt's husband, who is very wealthy. She is going to school and her parents had passed, so her aunt is really the only person that she has left. And her aunt is trying to help her out in whatever way that she can, so she's living in this house for free. And at the beginning of the book, her aunt and her husband actually pass away. And in comes Dorian, who is her aunt's husband's son. Dorian had no idea who Primrose was and that she was living there. Him and his dad really didn't have the best relationship. So he gets there to, you know, kind of like settle the estate after his father dies. And Primrose is there and she's got all this like weird art everywhere. And he's, nope, you need to get out of here. She ends up convincing him, hey, let me stay. And they strike up a friendship that leads to a romance, you know, as it always does. My big complaint with this one is there's a time jump, a big time jump. And those are so hit or miss for me. And this one definitely was a miss. Primrose has moved on. She has a kid with another man, and a very good man. And I mean, Dorian had his reasons for pushing her away, but I just didn't like how she was willing to give up this life that she had made for herself and for her daughter. She just gave it up so quickly to have Dorian back. I was a little perturbed by that. So 3 stars for The Houseguest. Next up, we have The Last Thing to Burn by Will Dean. This is my first ever Will Dean book. And okay, I was a little disappointed in this one. I also gave this one 3 stars, but I am intrigued to read more from him. I did like the writing. I think this book was just a little too slow and repetitive for me in the beginning. It really didn't pick up until the last probably, I don't know, 75 to 50 pages. That's when it got really good. So we are following a Vietnamese woman named Jane. That's not her real name, but that is the name that she was given when she arrived in London, I believe. And she has since been living with this man who is very cruel to her, and she is a prisoner. She, you know, is basically at his beck and call all the time. She's not allowed to leave the house. She's not allowed to talk to anybody. And she ends up pregnant, and she's desperate to save herself and her unborn child. And so you follow her as she kind of develops this plan and gets the courage to leave and save herself and her child. So yeah, 3 stars, just a little slow and repetitive. Then I read the very popular If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Do I even need to tell you all what this is about? Because it's been everywhere. Like it's everywhere. And I will say it is worth the hype. It is. So we are following Michelle and Cliff, and this is also set in the 1990s, like late 1990s. It's very slow burn, small town, single dad. So Michelle is back in her hometown at her mother's bed and breakfast because her mother has passed away. And so she's there kind of running things for a little bit. And Cliff is actually her next door neighbor, and he owns a bakery in this town. And it's just very cozy, simple, like slice of life story. Like I said, this romance is super slow burn, and I did really enjoy that build up to their relationship because Michelle not only had Cliff to have a relationship with, she also needed to have a relationship with his daughters in order to make, you know, for it all to make sense. And because Cliff is an amazing single dad, he will do anything for his girls. So it was really important that, you know, Michelle kind of fit in with that and his girls like her. So I did really enjoy this book. And if for whatever reason you've been hiding under a rock and you haven't read it yet, you should probably do that because it's the book of the fall. Okay, it is. I mean, look at the cover. It's stunning. Okay, it's beautiful. I'm going to quickly talk about Night Film by Marisha Pessel. Am I saying her last name right? It doesn't sound right. This is my DNF for the month. And I feel like it's one that I want to give a second chance. It just didn't work out on audio for me. I kept having to go back and re-listen to what I had already listened to because I wasn't catching on to what was happening and who was who. So I did end up DNFing this one. And honestly, I don't even remember what it was about. So I don't know. Is it me or was it the book? Let me know if you've read it. Next up, I read The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donnelly. I gave this one a 4-star. We open up the book in a very small town in North Carolina, and we have Megan and Nicole. Megan and Nicole are at a beach party and they disappear. 2 weeks later, Megan actually returns, but there is no sign of Nicole. And then we have 14 months later, Livia, who is Nicole's sister. She's actually a forensic examiner, I believe. I don't know the exact name of her job, but she is at work one day and a man comes into her office who they found dead in the river. She thinks that the way this man passed, that there is some foul play. There's something fishy here. So she decides that she's going to take it upon herself to investigate his death further. And that kind of leads her to her sister. Was this man involved with her sister? Did he know her sister? Is this mysterious man who we found in the river connected to my sister Nicole? And where's my sister? This got pretty dark. I've read a couple Charlie Donnelly, and this one was definitely the darkest that I have read, and I really enjoyed that. I love it when thrillers take it there. This is one that you can read in a day, just fly through. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. You have to know what's going on, and I really enjoyed my time while reading it. These next 3 books I'm gonna fly through because I did do a reading vlog. It will be 2 videos back. I asked on Instagram for you all to give me your 5-star reads, your favorite book of the year so far. And I chose 3 of those and read them. So if you want more in-depth thoughts, I will have that vlog linked down below. But the first book that I read for that vlog was Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. Now, initially I gave this one 4 stars, but the more I think about it, I think this might be a 3-star read. I just don't really remember a whole ton from the book. It is following an older couple who was married and they are now divorced. They have a 17-year-old son who is going off to college, and he asks, hey, Mom, Dad, can you help me move into, my college dorm? So they go on a road trip to help their son move into college, and that just kind of brings back all these feelings and things that happened while they were married. So yeah, I did enjoy my time, but just now being a little removed from it, I just don't think it's quite a 4-star read. So I might change my rating on that one. Then I read, finally, Dire Bound by Sable Sorensen. This is a fantasy romance about dire wolves. And let me tell you, I had so much fun with this. I had very high expectations going into this, and were my expectations met? Yes, but this was not, the end-all be-all of fantasy romances. It was fun. So just go, if you haven't read it yet, kind of maybe lower your expectations a little bit and just know it's going to be a fun time. A silly, goofy, fun time. Still a really good book, okay? I did really like it, so don't let me, I'm not trying to knock, what it is and people who like it. It's just my expectations, I wanted Sarah J. Maas level, okay? And I'm not getting that anymore. I think that's kind of what I'm meaning. And then I read a dark romance, which is Under Your Scars by Ariel N. Anderson. Listen, I'm so mad at this book still because, the first half of this book was so freaking good. Honestly, even more than the first half of the book. It was the ending, okay? I'm not going to spoil it here, but I do spoil it in my vlog. So if you haven't read it and you are interested in reading it, maybe don't watch that. But I'm upset. I'm still upset. I am giving this one a 3-star, even though I absolutely hated the ending. I just could not stop listening to this book. I could not put it down. I was loving it. The spice was great. I loved the setup. Everything about it was so good. And then the dang ending. What the heck? We didn't have to end it that way. It did not have to end that way. And I'm so mad that it did. So freaking mad. So mad. It is a very dark romance though. So definitely check your triggers before you go into it. Okay. And maybe do a little bit of research and find out kind of what happens in the end. Maybe not spoiler territory, but yeah, just do your own research on it and see if it's actually a book that you want to read, because I'm upset. The next book that I finished in September is Wrath of the Dragons by Olivia Rose Darling. This is book 2 in the Fear the Flames series. I gave this one 4 stars. I had a heck of a time reading this book. I know that this one, when it came out, it was getting a lot of hate. People really did not like it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good installment to the series. I liked the relationship development and the character development and getting more into this world and things. I really did enjoy this one. So if you were put off by the bad reviews, give it a shot, okay? Pick it up, read it, especially if you loved the first book. I think you'll really like this one. I hope so, at least. Then I finished Weyward by Amelia Hart. This book, you guys, it's so witchy and just like the vibes of this book. It's historical, but we do get a modern timeline. We actually are following 3 different women over like 5 different centuries. So we have 2019, we're following Kate, who flees London for the Weyward cottage inherited from a great aunt that she barely remembers. She is fleeing from her abusive husband. Then we have 1619. Altha is awaiting trial for the murder of a local farmer who was stampeded to death by his herd. And they think she had something to do with it. Then we have 1942. We are following Violet, who is very much under the thumb of her father and society. So you follow all of these women and their stories and how they weave together. And this is really about female resilience and finally standing up for yourself, doing what you feel is best for you, and just also kind of like sticking it to the man, you know? Now is the perfect time of year to read this book for sure, if you haven't read it. But no, going into it, triggers, okay? Rape, like on page, descriptive rape. Also same for a miscarriage, domestic abuse. Just be aware of those triggers if this sounds like something that you want to read. It definitely is, it doesn't hold back on what these women went through. The next book is a very, very disappointing read, and that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I gave it 3 stars. We are following January and Gus, who are both writers, and they went to the same college and they were rivals, okay? Big rivals. January has just lost her father, so she goes to stay at his beach house. And, you know, unbeknownst to her, she moves in next door to Gus, and she's not very happy about that. Since they are living in such close proximity, they do start to talk and they do strike up sort of a friendship, call it a truce, you know? They are both struggling to write their newest book. January has been working on a romance and it's just not really, it's not coming out of her like she wants it. And Gus is working on a book about a cult. So they make a deal that they're going to help each other out. And so they go on these little like dates and research for their books. So they're spending a lot of time together and they fall in love. This does have the signature Emily Henry banter, so I did really enjoy that. It was an easy read. It just fell a little flat for me. I don't know, I expected a little bit more from this book because of everything that I had heard, and it just did not deliver. The last book that I read in September was definitely a doozy, you guys. This is one that will make you think. 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult. I gave this book 4 stars. It definitely left me kind of like, what the heck? And not like in the way that it ends. It's just how, I don't know, how this story is told. So this is following a school shooting, and we are getting many different perspectives of people who were affected by the school shooting. We have parents of victims, we have police officers, we have a judge in the community, we have the lawyer who is actually hired to defend the school shooter. And you're getting all of these different perspectives and how they are addressing what happened and how they feel about what happened and the decisions that they are making after this tragedy. And obviously we get the school shooting, we get what is leading up to the school shooting, we get after the school shooting, and we go back so far as when the school shooter is a child. So we're getting a lot of backstory and history to some of these characters, and you really get to know them and see these little events in their lives that led them to make the decisions that they did. Very, very intriguing story. This would be one that I think would be a really good book club read. So if you have a book club and you enjoy discussing books, this is one that's really going to bring up a lot of really good topics and talking points. Really good book. Definitely some twists in there that I did not see coming at all. So I highly recommend this book if you can handle reading about a school shooting and deaths and things like that. So yeah, that is all for my September wrap up. Sorry that it is so late, but life be lifing sometimes, and there's really nothing I can do about it. So let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books. If you did you like them? What did you rate them? And if you don't have anything to say and you want to leave me an emoji, leave me a, what emoji? How about a fall leaf? We can do that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.